You know, like any good fight, this battle that we're engaged in is a fight of contrasts, and the contrasts and the distinctions that exist between those who are defending foreclosures and fighting for our courts and those on the other side that are abusing our courts and that are filing these foreclosures and submitting improper evidence could not be more dramatic. But one of the things that absolutely drives me nuts right now is the fact that all across this country in major news media markets, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, all of the major national news organizations have now picked up on all of these dramatic conflicts that are occurring in our courtrooms. Now, our state newspapers have been reporting this for a long time. St. Pete Times, Tampa Tribune, our regional newspapers, Florida Daily Business, South Florida Business Journal, have all been reporting on the problems that are occurring in our foreclosure courtrooms for quite some time now. Having said all of that, the thing that is most disturbing in these courtrooms and in the middle of this battle is in the face of all of this dramatic reporting across the state of Florida, it's business as usual in our courtrooms. These senior judges, our elected judges, are continuing to churn through foreclosure cases as if nothing at all is happening. Now, this is absolutely mind-numbing because you walk into these courtrooms and you alert the judges once again to what's happening outside their courtrooms and the problems with the files that are right in front of them, and yet they continue to grant summary judgments as if nothing's happening. There are two important points I want to make here. Number one, we're all familiar with the GMAC announcements, and now the other announcements will start rolling out from other lenders and servicers. The thing that's most dramatic about this is it's not the judges that are recognizing the error in the ways of these foreclosure files. And it's frankly, behind the scenes, not even the lenders that are having a problem with what's going on here. I believe that what's occurring is the title insurance underwriters are looking at what's happening in our courtrooms, and they're saying to these law firms and to these lenders, look, you can play your games and churn through all these foreclosure files, rush to get foreclosure judgments. But at the end of the day, we're concerned enough about the problems that we see in the foreclosure files that we're not going to underwrite title on these files. Now, here's the bottom line with all this. You can get all the foreclosure judgments you want to, but if you can't find a title insurer who will underwrite the title that will allow you to sell that property to a third party free and clear of any claims, of any allegations of wrongdoing, then you've just wasted your time in getting that foreclosure judgment. Keep your eyes peeled for what the announcements that'll come later. The fact of the matter is that the allegations that the good law firms in this state have been raising for years now, particularly ICE Legal down in West Palm Beach, but foreclosure defenders all across the state of Florida. These allegations are real. They're serious. The judges can ignore them out of a sense of political expediency. The plaintiffs' mills can ignore them out of some wrongdoing or sense of right that they're engaged in. But the fact of the matter is that when the title insurers reach the conclusion that they will no longer be on the hook for all the ills and the wrongdoing of these mills and the lenders, then we've got real problems. What you're going to find is real estate market is going to lock down, shut down as a result of all of these problems. Now, the bright side to all of this is this ultimately is going to force these lenders back to the table to start negotiating in good faith with borrowers and homeowners. That's something that's been sorely lacking in the middle of this crisis. But the disappointment for me is it didn't come from our judges standing up and doing the right thing. It didn't come from the attorneys who recognized that what was going on in our courtrooms was wrong. It came from the title insurance company, from private industry and business that said we're no longer going to underwrite all this. There's another very dramatic thing that I want us all to be paying attention to. And that is, across the state, summary judgment hearings are occurring. The rocket dockets are just churning right along through hundreds of files a day. I am desperately concerned about the number of files that are granted summary judgment that the homeowner, A, has no idea of the hearing that's occurring because they didn't get any notice of that summary judgment hearing. They're going to have no idea that a sale is occurring in their house. In a high percentage of cases, these defendant homeowners never even got service of process, and so there's problems with service of process from the beginning, number one. Number two, there are going to be a number of cases where the homeowners are engaged in a formal written modification with the lender. That written modification is going to say that no foreclosure will proceed and no sale will be held as long as you're complying with the terms of it. And they are complying with the terms, and they're not paying attention then to the foreclosure sale that's been scheduled. So in the next months, you're going to see where these sales occur. A sheriff knocks at the door advising a homeowner that their home has been sold, and they have no notice of that, or they didn't pay attention to it because they're in a formal modification. This is scary times we live in, folks, and we got to continue to rely upon our press to tell these stories, because judges are not listening to us, legislators are not listening to us. So it's up to the press now, and it's up to the general population to A, be telling these stories, and B, when you see stories in your newspaper, to comment on those links, to share the links of the stories on Facebook and email and everywhere else. Reach out to your press, the video markets and the print media, and share these stories with them. Everyone have a good day. Keep up the good fight.